Hey everyone, SweetJohnnyCage here, back with another guide for Kena, Bridge of Spirits. This time I'm going to show you where to find all the collectibles in the village. This guide will work a little bit differently than the other area guides that I've done for this game, and that is because the vast majority of collectibles in the village are locked behind houses that require you to deliver spirit mail in order to cleanse them. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to show you the location of all 10 spirit mail in the game, and then we will cover the rot, the hats, the flower shrines, and the rest. There are a total of 10 spirit mail. There are 0 in Taro's Tree, 1 in Rusu Mountain, 2 in the Forgotten Forest, 1 in the Storehouse, 1 in the Fields, 2 in the Village Heart, and 3 in the Village. I'll be leaving those 3 in the Village till last because 2 of them are in the end game. And with the end game, you need to have a healthy dose of a spoiler warning because there are some areas that are very locked off until the end of the game, and there are 2 spirit mail there. So if you don't want to see that, come back until you're ready to fight the final boss. This way you've seen everything for yourself. Alright, so without further ado, let's get started on the spirit mail locations. In Rusu's Mountain, near the Ruins Warp Point, you'll be climbing along these cliffs that look like they're from Uncharted. Once you reach this section here, which is basically the end of it, you want to jump towards this cliff face, and you'll notice that there are some cliffs or hang points to the right instead of to the left. To the left continues you on to Rusu's house, but to the right leads to a small cave with Rusu Mountain's only spirit mail. In the Forgotten Forest, when you are climbing up to go to the God Tree Shrine, you will come across a platform that you have to jump down to in order to keep going. When you reach that platform, you want to turn around and whip on a flower, and then there is a spirit mail behind that flower. Also in the Forgotten Forest, near the Water Shrine, there is a little puzzle you need to solve in order to access this area's spirit mail. So once you have cleansed the Water Shrine, you want to use the tear to summon the rot, and then you are going to use this rot to break some corruption over in this corner. This corruption is guarding a brick, which you can move in one of 2 places. The sort of secret place is actually over here along this wall near the warp point. By sending the brick or the block over here, you're able to jump up and reach the ledge, and then you can move a piece of wood to clear the route so you don't have to do this anymore. With the way cleared, you want to look up to the left, and you will see a flower that you can whip to, and then you want to whip to another one on your right, and then finally another one on your left, and you can see the spirit mail sitting there on a stump waiting for you. Once you reach the Storehouse area and you receive the bomb ability, you can then start lifting the shiny blue rocks that you see throughout the world. This is one of the final abilities that you get in the game. Immediately after getting the bombs, you want to turn around and go towards the left, and then you'll be able to throw a bomb and then shoot it, or even just wait for it to explode on these rocks. Fair warning, these rocks can be a little slippery, and the platforming can be a little annoying to get used to because there's no ledges on these rocks, so you will slide off if you're not careful. But you want to explode the first set, lift them up, and then throw a bomb into the corner and lift up this second set. You will see a flower here, which indicates that there's probably a combat challenge waiting for you, and then some enemies will spawn for you to take care of. After dispatching the enemies, you can then cleanse the flower and all the corruption surrounding it, and then you will be able to get the spirit mail inside. Out in the fields, once you reach the forge area on top of the cliff, from the warp point, you want to turn around and then follow this path here and jump over the tree root, and then you will find a set of staircases that you can walk down. These staircases will lead you to a water cavern that has you solve a unique puzzle that doesn't appear anywhere else in the game. So what you want to do is you want to shoot the teardrop down into the little flower bud there. It spawns a full tear, and then what you want to do is you want to throw a bomb onto these rocks, shoot it, summon the rot through the tier, guide it over the bridge, and then once you're on top of this stack of pancake platforms here, you want to press R2 to do a slam, and then that causes the cavern to fill up with water. What we're going to do now is we're going to jump in, and we are going to swim to the left exit. In the back there's just some currency and some chests, nothing major, no rot or hats or anything. So once you're in the water, you want to swim out, and then just outside of this exit, there will be the spirit mail. In the village heart area, near the center of the village heart, there is a busted house that you can just walk behind, and the spirit mail is on a table out in the open. The second spirit mail in the village heart is a little tricky. Once you reach the main cave door, which you will get to along the main adventure, you want to come outside, and there is a shiny blue rock on this cliff here. So you want to throw a bomb and blow it up, and then that spawns a flower. What you should do is rotate the platform underneath it, but somehow I was able to get like a one-frame jump on that rock and just skip on over to the cliff face. So you want to climb along here, and then once you reach safety, there is a door that you can throw a bomb onto. It is broken, and the spirit mail is inside waiting for you. The first spirit mail back in the village you probably ran into along your path to Taro's tree in the beginning of the game. On the side of a house there's a big bucket, and then you can just have the rot move this bucket onto this conspicuous looking circle. Once it's over there, have them drop it, and then use it as a platform to get in through the roof. There's a spirit mail on this table right here. In the endgame, once you've started on the Mask Maker's path, there is a really big house in this location, and you can climb up using various abilities. So what you want to do is you want to run around back, and then you want to go in through the doorway that has the symbol on the floor, right here. Turn around, and then we're going to do some platforming, as well as a bow whip through a flower right here. Great, up on here. And then we're going to climb this staircase. Double jump over here, climb this last staircase, and the spirit mail is on a table right here. The final spirit mail is along the warrior's path, also in the end game. So once you reach the giant Torii gate on this cliff, you want to climb up these ledges, and then instead of proceeding across this platform to solve the Torii gate puzzle, you instead want to turn around one more time and then climb this set of cliffs here. There is a set of rocks over here that you need to bomb. Those create some platforms. And then on that third platform, you can see a flower in the distance that you can whip to. Let's go ahead and shoot your way over. And then you're going to go into this cave. Fair warning, there will be enemies in here. I've just edited that part out. A couple combat encounters, including one of those ghost warrior enemies. You want to shield dash through this gate. That brings you onto this big platform. There will be a memory in this little fountain here, but then there's also a chest along with a spirit mail back here. and this is the 10th and final spirit mail of the game. So with all 10 spirit mail in our inventory, we have full access to the village, and by extension, all of the collectibles inside. The way the rest of this guide will work is I'll first show you the location of all 24 rot, then all 21 hats, 8 flower shrines, and then the rest of the cursed chests. Some of the cursed chests hold rot or hats, so those chests will be automatically covered in the rot and hat sections, and then any remaining cursed chests that just contain some currency will be covered at the end. If you're looking for any specific rot, hat, flower shrine, or cursed chest, please check the video description for the timestamps for the chapters. This way you don't have to watch this really long video. Alright, let's get started on the rest. The very first rot in the village is found on a workbench near the warp point. Next, we have another rot behind the first spirit mail house on the way to Taro's tree on this table. Rot number 3 can be found under a stone near the graveyard.
It's right there.
Rot number 4 is inside the southeast spirit mail house.
Open it up.
In the southwest spirit mail house, you'll find 3 cursed chests that have to be completed in order, the first of which contains a rot after you complete the challenge and cleanse the chest. This combat challenge isn't too difficult, but each one of these chests has an increasingly difficult combat challenge, and we'll cover all 3 throughout this guide. One of them contains a hat, which is the middle one, that's the unicorn hat. We'll cover that later. And then the one all the way on the right, which is technically the second cursed chest there, that one only contains currency, so it's just sort of like a get it out of the way to go to the real combat challenge. So this combat challenge has you defeat 20 enemies in 1 minute 15 seconds. They're all pretty much lesser enemies. This won't be too difficult. You really don't need any upgrades. They can make them go faster. Rot Hammer is always a good idea, but I'm literally just going to be running around, mashing R1, attacking whatever I can find. And then, yeah, just taking care of it that way. For the final combat challenge here for that third cursed chest, I'll talk about this later, but you really should get the bow upgrade that allows you to send rot onto an enemy, and then when you shoot that enemy as they're surrounded by rot, the arrows ricochet to enemies around them. That's a really, really important upgrade for completing this entire room. 6 enemies left with 30 seconds. Plenty of time, really not a big deal at all. You can try to corral them, but these guys don't really move that much sometimes. They can sort of just stay still if you don't pay attention to them. But just a couple left with 16 seconds to go. They can be a little hard to see as well. Sometimes they blend in with those chests. But that's it. Once you complete this combat challenge, you will get rot number 5 out of the once cursed chest that is now cleansed. In the northeast spirit mail house, you'll find rot number 6.
Over there.
Rot number 7 can be obtained by completing all 3 levels of the shooting gallery in the archery range area of the village.
See that over there?
Rot number 8 can be found in a lamp near the lumberyard area, which is sort of near the docks before you go into the storehouse. Rot number 9 can be found solving the frog puzzle. This requires the spirit mail from inside the storehouse. You want to shoot these crystals in the order in which the frogs are croaking, so it's center, right, left. Doing this will also get you the frog hat, but we will talk about that again when we get to the hat section. Rot number 10 is underneath a stone in the storehouse area. So you want to blow this up once you get a bomb, and then the rot is underneath. Rot number 11 is in a basket on a pillar near the docks.
All right.
This one will also give you the fishing hat. Rot number 12 is in a lamp in the village onsen. This is the northeasternmost spirit mail house. Rot number 13 is obtained by completing the shooting gallery on top of a house, and in order to access this house, you need a spirit mail from the fields. So you want to jump up here, and then there is a really difficult to see emblem on the roof of this house. You want to pulse to start the shooting game. This can be a little difficult to see, especially on an HDR monitor, because the sun can be kind of bright and the targets blend in. I'm not sure if that was deliberate, but it can be a little tough to see at the start. Rots number 14, 15, and 16 are obtained by defeating the Mask Maker boss. Rot number 17 is inside the house near the onsen, which requires spirit mail from the Mask Maker's path, which you should have gotten before defeating the Mask Maker. Rots 18, 19, and 20 are obtained by defeating the warrior boss in the warrior's path. Rot number 21 is inside a chest on the roof of the final spirit mail house on the dock. Rots 22, 23, and finally 24 are obtained by defeating the hunter boss in the Hunter's Path area. Hat number 1, the mushroom, can be obtained automatically when you open up the village at the very start of the game. So once you cleanse this flower, the village opens up, and then you will automatically get the mushroom hat. I'm pretty sure this technically happens because you discover the hat cart. Usually that's when you get a hat, from those carts is when you discover it. But I think because since it happens during a cutscene, it's just automated here. Hat number 2, the pot, is in a chest near the hat cart just a few steps away. Hat number 3 is inside a chest near the gate to Taro's tree. Hat number 4, the yellow mushroom, is inside the very first spirit mail house that you come across. Hat number 5, the unicorn, is found inside the Southwest Spirit Mail House in the village, inside of the third of 3 Cursed Chest combat challenges. You have a minute and 15 seconds to defeat 30 enemies, and this is probably the most difficult combat challenge in the entire game. I highly recommend you have 2 upgrades for your bow, the Empowered Rot Arrow, as well as the Bind Multi-Shot upgrade. These abilities will allow you to deal massive damage, as well as get some AoE damage with that Bind Multi-Shot upgrade. Bind Multi-Shot makes it so if you hold L2 and then position your camera and target an enemy, you can press square to send Rot after them, which is something you can do from the beginning of the game. But now, with the Bind Multi-Shot, you are able to shoot arrows at that bound target, and the arrows will bounce off and deal splash damage to enemies all around them. So this is really, really important to do, as you can see here. One enemy just killed 4 or 5 really, really fast. The other major tip that I have for this is to always jump and then use the bullet time to kill the moth enemies. If you do not have the capacity or rot point to shoot a bind multi-shot at a bigger enemy to kill the moths, that's okay. Just use bullet time. That also slows down the timer. It's really, really important. Bullet time slows down the timer. But once you get past the combat challenge, you will get hat number 5, the unicorn. This is the most expensive one to buy at 1,000 crystals. Hat number 6, the Ladybug, is behind the Northeast Spirit Mail House. Hat number 7, the baseball hat, can be found on the side of a house in the archery range area. Hat number 8, the cat hat, can be found to the left of the storehouse. Hat number 9, the dinosaur hat, can be found by solving the 3 owl statue puzzle in the storehouse area. I'll show you the locations of each of the 3 statues.
Over there. There.
Hat number 10, the frog, can be found by solving the frog puzzle that we solved for rot number 9. And this requires the spirit mill from the storehouse. So you want to shoot these 3 crystals in the following order. Center, right, left. It's the same order that the frogs are croaking in. And then when you collect this rot, you will also get the frog hat.
Hello.
Hat number 11, the fishing hat, can be found in a basket on a pillar near the docks. We cover this in the rot section, but collecting this rot also gives you the fishing hat. Hat number 12, Zajuro's mask, can be found in a chest near the flower shrine in the onsen area. Hat number 13, the Star Hat, is in the southeasternmost house that requires spirit mail from the fields. Hat number 14, the Mask, is in a house along the Mask Maker path during the endgame, which is near the Tear and a flower shrine. Hat number 15, the Mask Maker hat, is obtained after defeating the Mask Maker boss. Hat number 16, Toshi's mask, can be found inside the house near the onsen, which requires spirit mail from the Mask Maker's path. Hat number 17, the Samurai hat, can be found in the Warrior's Path section during the endgame near a memory in a fountain. So once you reach this section, you want to climb up these cliffs here. And then once you reach the top, instead of going forward towards the lamps, you want to turn around, jump up here, and then you want to throw a bomb onto this rock, shoot it to reveal the platforms, and then we're going to jump across these three, and then we're going to do a whip over here onto this flower. Then we're going to go through this cave. I have cleared out all the enemies already, but there will be a couple combat challenges in here for you. I should also mention that even after you defeat the boss of this area and it becomes totally cleansed, you can come back here and get this. This is not permanently missable or anything, but getting it during this time is probably the easiest. Otherwise, you gotta do a bunch of swimming. But in this chest, you will find the Samurai hat. Hat number 18, the Warrior hat, is obtained after you defeat the Warrior boss in the Warrior's Path. Hat number 19, the Bunny hat, can be found inside a chest on the middle level of the final Spirit Mail house in the docks area. Hat number 20 is obtained after you defeat the Hunter boss along the Hunter's Path in the endgame. The 21st and final hat is the Dog hat, and this can be found in the docks area in a chest. Starting from the water wheel, you want to climb up these stairs, and then we're going to turn right, go up these next two staircases, and then we're going to cross this bridge, and then we're going to turn left, and there's a chest right underneath this bell. The first flower shrine to cleanse is near the village entrance, right near the hat cart. The second flower shrine is near the entrance to Taro's tree. You'll want to pull the tier back and guide it back into the village in order to cleanse this flower shrine as well as the next one. The third flower shrine is in the archery range area, and just like before, you'll want to pull the tier back out of the Taro's tree entrance area. Flower shrine number 4 is in the Storehouse area. This requires you to complete a combat challenge to unlock the tier here. The fifth flower shrine is up on the cliff above the graveyard near a spirit mail delivery house near the onsen. Flower shrine number 6 is along the Mask Maker path near the memory that you find and a tier. Flower shrine number 7 is on an island in the Cleansed Warrior's Path area. So after you defeat the warrior boss, you'll be able to get this. You want to use the tier and then guide the rot out, but you'll notice that if you just stand in one place near the tier, you won't have enough room to move it. So you want to walk into this little sandbar here, and then you will get the full distance. But you got to be careful not to fall into the water, otherwise the rot will break apart. The 8th and final flower shrine will be found along the Hunter's Path. For this, you can either deliberately set off the tripwire and then shield dash through the red dome that surrounds you, or, more easily, you can just summon the rot from the tier and then guide it through without you personally going over that tripwire. The rot does not set it off, only you do. A cursed chest can be found in the southeast section of the town, behind a house. Another cursed chest can be found in the southwest house that you need spirit mail to deliver, and this is the second of 3 combat challenges. This is where we got a rot as well as the unicorn hat. This combat challenge isn't really any more difficult than the first one, but it is significantly less difficult than the third one. So in the intro, you just fight a lot of these smaller guys with their axes. Not too bad. We have 55 seconds left and 11 enemies to go. You can use your bind multi-shot on the wood knight here, or the sprout rather, and then that will cause arrows to ricochet off of it, and then that will help you kill everything a lot faster. I also recommend using the empowered rot arrow. That's really, really effective. Whenever you want to take down these moths, I don't recommend doing what I just did and trying to melee them down. There's really no air combat in this game, so just jump and use an arrow. Bullet time does slow down the timer, which works to your advantage, so keep that in mind. We got 1 enemy left here, and that's it. That's another cursed chest. The 5th cursed chest can be found in the village docks area, right near the warp point. This one is kind of hard. You have to defeat only 2 enemies within 1:30 seconds. However, one of those enemies is a mage who can summon ads, which is no fun, and then the other one is a sprout that is quite vicious. You gotta be very careful because the mage can heal itself. Whenever you see it holding up a green orb, you want to use the rot hammer or an empowered rot arrow, and then that will help you a good deal. I'm actually thinking that you may be able to shoot those red orbs that it sends out after you. That may help explode them. Otherwise, just run away, but they do track really hard. I'm just realizing all this now. Either way, these are the only 2 enemies that you need to defeat, but this can get really dicey. There's a couple strategies here. You can either zerg down the mage, which is my preferred strategy, just because I really hate dealing with these things, and then that'll give you plenty of time to deal with the sprout. Or you can take down the sprout and then deal with the mage. It's really up to you. I am attempting to get the courage points off of this thing by shooting some arrows into the orange crystals on its body. It's not going too well because getting behind it can be kind of tough. For now, though, we're just going to use Rod Hammer and send it back from whence it came. And then we get the 5th cursed chest. The 6th and final cursed chest, which should be the final collectible for you, is found along the Mask Maker's path in this cave. You run up against this as you're going through the area, so this should be kind of in your face. It's not hard to find at all. You have to defeat 5 enemies without getting hit. A couple of them will shoot fireballs at you, so you got to be careful. And then you have these villagers. You can block attacks. That does not count as getting hit, so just keep that in mind. Just in case things start to get a little hairy, just block. These ghost enemies, it may be your first time fighting them. What you want to do with these guys is you want to shield dash into them. That will bring them back into the mortal realm, if you will, and then you will be able to deal damage to them. What's more is that you can also use the shield dash to deal damage to them. That is also quite effective. However, you got to be careful because that will drain your shield pretty fast, but it's really up to you, whatever floats your boat. But once all 5 enemies are dead and you haven't taken a hit, you get the 6th and final cursed chest. And that is it for all of the collectibles in the village. This is by far the longest guide that I've done for Kena Bridge of Spirits in terms of like individual collectibles. The village is huge. I recommend leaving all of this until the end game. After you've gotten all the spirit mail and unlocked all the houses, it's way easier to just go around and get everything. And it makes it so it's harder for you to forget what you've gotten and where you've been if you're just literally going around the village, clearing it out piece by piece. That's just my preferred method. That's what I'll be doing in my full playthrough walkthrough. But that's it. If you have any questions, please feel free to leave a comment. I'll do my best to help you out. If you're looking for more guides for Kena Bridge of Spirits, please subscribe to the channel so you get alerted when new guides go live. If you're interested in supporting the channel monetarily, please consider becoming a channel member by clicking the blue join button below this video. Don't forget to follow me on Twitter and join my Discord. The link for that is in the description below. I'm Sweet Johnny Cage. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.